Guys, welcome back to the farm. Hey, Kip Sigler here, third generation dairy farmer up in Michigan. Hey, first year bagging all our feed. Got away from these silos. Still gonna fill that fifth one with high moisture grain. Put up about 2.5 bags of first cutting. Already went through one, and you see that dip in that second one. That was where we started second cutting hay. It was really juicy and it got ugly. Well, coming across here in this bag, this hay turned extremely dry. And dry hay is like dry steak. It's chewy and nobody likes it. And I found out the cows can't stand it. In fact, when you go to fill the mixer with that hay, no one ever told me this. This is why you have to start doing something to really learn how to do it. It's messing up my weight on all the weight I have to have for the cows to eat. That stuff is extremely light. I could fill the whole tub of that up with that first cutting, opposed to if you had some real good green stuff, you'd only be able to put 3,000 pounds in it. Well, answer, I dipped into my second cutting. Prime second cutting. Look at this stuff. Unbelievably, extremely wet. I put a bucket of that first cutting in, and I was having issues. Took me a few days to really dawn on what was happening, and finally it just clicked. 400-pound buckets of hay, big buckets. One bucket of that, it's over 1,000 pounds. So that'll get me my 3,000 pounds of hay per feeding twice a day. I'll show you what's going on. I got an overcast, rain coming later. We're gonna fill our final bag of the season down at the dry cow lot. Little half bag. Silo's full, and then we'll get back up here. Hopefully we will beat the rain. They're talking 95% chance right now. There's my overflow bag I laid in there last week. Silage is up here. So let's get the mixer filled. We'll see how that mixes together and see if the cows like it. Let's go. Yeah, that's last year's corn. Very good wet stuff. I'll level the low with that. I went a little heavy on the hay, but that's because I'm trying to mix these. What must have happened, I don't really remember it happening. That's August 1st. That was when I started marking where this bag was, but we must have got to the end of a field where Dad was chopping. See back here where it's lumpier? Now this is guarantee you, that's just how it bags when it's wet. So it looks like I've got wet, good, fresh hay. But right here, it gets real high. When it starts packing high like that, I've learned that's dry. And it got away from us. Now I understand why guys do not want to chop dry hay. We never did. We'd get it off the field, when you had it in a silo, I've dealt with this my whole life. I never really read into it too much because I was stuck with what was coming out. Like Guy said, you put junk in, you're gonna get junk out. But I've got the option now to mix it with prime second, wet second cutting, dry first cutting. Silos, I could never do that. So now we're gonna get these cows back on track. And that's a heavy 3,700 pounds. I'll probably put 3,300 pounds of corn silage in now. Now I'll put her in part. Now I'll fire that mixer up. Getting why use this tractor. Mix it just fine. I'm getting used to it now. Mix that first and second cutting hay up. We'll dump the corn in. So she's mixing up and we're at about 7,200 pounds. This load calls for about that with grain. I've been running the grain out of the silo, getting to the bottom, basically like snaplage. So instead of filling a buck, I've just been letting it run and cranking it because you're not going to overfeed it. Snaplage, you can almost feed double as you could shelled corn. So that's how I've been doing it. So they're getting 7,600 pounds. You know, when that dry hay, these last 2 days I was feeding them, I had this mixer full. It was 5,800 pounds, and they were barely eating it. And look at that hay. That's second cutting prime. You remember how wet I was putting all those feed up? Well, I got a lot of slack from it. But man, am I glad I did it now because they won't eat the dry. So this is only the second day I'm mixing first and second. And it's at 72. Last night was 7,000. I went above because the bunks are lit clean right now. They love that wet feed. They like a juicy steak. Let's go. Conveyor belt feeder running and standing on this. Grain's on. Here's your conveyor. Now we're gonna open this baby up. Let's keep this under here. Let this grain down. There the cattle are lined up. They're wanting to eat, and it's got a big amount to do with that second cutting hay. But hey, I was a little perplexed. Milk was going down, the amount they weren't milking real well, and they just weren't wanting to eat it. I learned my lesson, and I was gonna call my nutritionist Steve Good and ask him what the heck should I do, but really I didn't. The only option was to do what I did. Leave a comment down below if you guys think that was a good move. Maybe you guys do it too. Seems to be working out. Grain down again. Check the scale. Okay, we're right where we want to be. I gotta flip that. I want to flip it at 5. Real quick, I'll show you. You remember how light in color that first cutting was in that first bag? It's just mixed and blended right together with that prime second and that real moist corn silage 2023. Man, these cows are packed right in there. They'll be able to spread out more when I start feeding that second bunk. But yeah, yesterday I told Mark, Greg, my brothers, and Lonnie, they're milking. Like, guys, these cows are down on milk. They're way down. I'm gonna do a video on how much they've went up since I started running the TMR, and they didn't say nothing about it. I just was offering that information up. Maybe I think they noticed, but again, they were milking about how they always milked the last few days on that dry hay. I said, wait till this coming week, next few days, they're gonna crank right up on that second cutting hay, and milk's gonna go shoot up. They'll come walking in and be leaking right out of their bag. Okay, and I'm switched over. Nice young heifer there. She's probably been in for about 2 months. Climb up here. I gotta watch this belt. There's that bunk. They're eating good, doubled up. Cows are still coming up and getting milk. But man, that's just good stuff. And as far as making the switch, you've seen it out there, guys. It does a little tacky. I still got some improvements to do on that pad. I mean, I laid that gravel in there. I honestly think it's gonna need maybe a whole nother batch to get hard, to get packed in there. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with what's going on. I mean, here in about 5 minutes, we're gonna have all these cows fed for the next 8 hours, and then I'll do it again tonight while the cows are locked in to get milk. So all in all, hard to beat. And that's my morning feeding, mixing first and second cutting hay with corn silage. You be the judge. Let me know in the comments below how you think that worked out, or maybe we should just let the cows be the judge. Set the bagger up. Silo's full. Turned out to be a pretty nice day, but they're saying it's still coming. Look at them clouds, beautiful. Cows are eating. I ran them some in a wagon. Still got to clean my mess up here, but that baby is full. We got about it. It's just a half bag, 135 foot, 9 foot diameter bagger. Should end up by that wagon or so. Hopefully we can get that done today. We'll see what happens. The corn silage is still dry conditions. I mean, I feel very moist in my hand, but not like we were chopping, but that's okay because these cows, they're down here R&R, rest of relaxation. We're chilling them. We don't want them to get too amped up. So far, so good. Got one waiting for me back here. They got this field done. Now they're across the road. the contrast from this morning milk cow feed to what I'm putting in this bag right now. Total opposite. Found Snowflake. How you doing, buddy? How you doing? Time to see what the white cactus for. Check that out, guys. Little smush. Boys, cottage cheese. Tell you what, it's starting to cool off. Wind's kicking up. We're making some headway. I don't know how far we'll get, but one thing I just noticed talking to you, we got a low tire. A bald low tire, but she's low. I'll get this one unloaded and I'll park it out of there so he don't grab it. This one's all done for today. So guys, at this point in the video, we ended up losing the sound. I'm moving these wagons. That's my brother's house. I'm dropping them. I'm just pointing, saying, hey, that storm, it looks like it's raining over there. Pulled another one in, full throttle, and we're gonna unload. Just kind of trickling it in little by little so it don't spill off the sides is why you do that. Plus, he kind of overfilled that wagon. I had to reach in there and pull it out. Look at them skies. She's coming. Ate my last snack, wife packed cheese and crackers. I figured I might as well eat the whole thing. Cranked my phone up and I seen there's a line right there coming into Lapeer County. It's right about to hit about 10-15 minutes. I said, this is gonna be my last load. I boogied it up to the farm and I filled that mixer because I didn't feel like doing it in the rain. Another 7,200 pounds I put in it. Them bunks were lit clean. So, you know, I got it parked out there. The rain's starting to really come down, but it's fine because I'm in the barn and it's trickling right into that feeder. I'm about to come out, and while that's feeding, I'm gonna grab that skid steer, scrape these alleys. Cows are locked in. It's probably about 4 o'clock at the time. Yeah, that bunk's licked completely clean. So they're really starting to eat. And this is that other bunk. We've got a liner in that, and the cows just really like it. I want to put another liner in that other bunk. There's something with that cement that holds moisture in that feed, and they always have that liner bunk licked clean. There's something with the smoothness of their tongue. I'm not sure what it is. Look at that rain coming. It's been dry, so we weren't complaining about the rain, but there's lots of work to be done. And as I was scraping, it hasn't rained in a while, these gutters were plugged, and that was actually, there was full of worms.